Welcome back, everyone, to the likers, subscribers, viewers, and welcome back to another podcast episode of HJ Testimonies. And we know that we have been gone for quite a while. There was a lot of happenings in life, life happens. But now we're back with another episode, and we are joined by another good friend of mine. Promise, it's not my intention to bring in my friends, but they are people that I tend to talk on a regular basis and would probably could share some of their stories with you. And of course, I always tell my friends when I talk with them na don't just share it with me. Maybe more people could learn from you. So I'm joined by my good friend Joseph over here. Say hi.
What's up? Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for having me.
uh, yeah, and so we'll be talking similar to my friend Rina about life, about career, and probably the trajectory of where his life is going or will go. So I will not be speaking so much anymore. Maybe Joseph could share a little bit about himself,
hmm
maybe how old is he, what he's been up to, what's your work, and what's your field of expertise, why you chose that work, something like that.
Sure. Sige. So, hi everyone. My name is Joseph. I'm 24 years old. So, living in Pampanga, but working in BGC, Manila. And
So
currently,
konyo.
yeah, and currently I'm working at Unilever, one of the top FMCGs companies in the world. Working as a supply chain finance analyst. So I'm already working for 2 years now, and yeah, my expertise is on the economics field, finance field.
Economics.
Yeah.
So before you got the work,
hmm
for those people na maybe interested
Sure.
in joining a company like Unilever, since this also a part of the episode now we're talking about adulting, and part of
Mm-hmm.
adulting is you know when you graduate you gotta find a work,
Mm-hmm.
or even before you graduate, or even adulting as in general, diba?
Mm-hmm.
Na choosing a course that you would want to study,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually where you want to study and where you want to work. So maybe share a little bit of background. Where did you study? How did you get there? Why did
Mm-hmm.
you choose the course? And how did you end up working with Unilever?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, for
Mm-hmm.
those who are not noticing on his jacket,
Ah,
proudly representing.
grabe.
Ayan. Ayan.
Yeah, okay. Sige. So a little bit of background of my university days,
Mhm.
siguro. So, back when I was college, I went to UST to study economics.
One of the top universities in the country.
Somewhat. I'm not bragging, pero you can say that. Pero yeah, so I went to UST, went there for 4 years. And why did I chose UST that time? Obviously, yun lang yung pinasa ko school na at
Mm,
least nasa Arsenal. So yeah, so I studied there, and then why econ? Well, for me, honestly, hindi ko siya first choice.
mm,
So ang first choice is accountancy.
mm,
But then did not pass accountancy, so went to economics instead. So that time, I feel like economics is still a good choice. Kasi you can apply those economic principles in your daily life, like what is supply, what is demand, and how can you capitalize that to um, to to be more efficient, to be more productive
mm.
in your daily ways. So yeah, so that's yung way of thinking ko when I was in college. No? Oh, hindi to sayang. I can still apply it in my daily life, or kung ano man maging expert ko sa field. And then that time I was also considering patungan ng major or specialization.
In
So so I had choices like in entrepreneurship, in
uh,
marketing, or finance. Then I chose finance because since a lot of series and movies that I watch, so more on finance. Like if you know Suits,
oh.
if you know Wolves of Wall Street, so that kind of inspired me to pursue finance
Mm,
combined with economics major. So yeah, so during my college years, I did some internships in one of the big four firms then, like Deloitte, PwC, where I where I worked as an intern, specifically in tax and corporate finance.
Mm.
And during those times, I really learned a lot. How to make financial modeling, how to study their financial statements, and then how to use that knowledge to further improve their businesses, especially to our clients that time. So yeah, it was really a fun and interesting experience. And then combining with my other extracurricular activities. So I've also involved myself in student leaderships and student organizations that really broaden my networks also. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then paano ako napadpad sa Unilever? Well, fun fact ulit, during my senior year, I only applied to one company,
Mm.
which is Unilever.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah. And then fortunately nakapasa ako sa hiring process nila, and then nung binigay na nila yung offer, and then tiningnan ko yung page ko, sabi, oh my gosh. Okay, ano na, let's get into it. Yan na.
Mm.
Yan. And then before entering Unilever, I was given choices. So one role is supply chain finance nga, now which I chose now. And then the other role was finance controller, so more on the audit side ng company. So syempre I chose supply chain finance because much more related sa degree ko or sa major na tinapos ko, which is economics. So I can apply demand and supply principles there, and then also make business decisions to make to make more money for the company.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, listening to everything that you've said, parang it's a lot to take in
Mhm.
because I'm not really much of an economics type of person. Supply and demand, you learn it in college
Yeah,
or you
yeah.
learned it also in high school. When I was in high school, I don't know the curriculum now.
Mhm.
Ano na nag-change.
Mhm.
So, for our audience that are listening, how would you break it down for them to somewhat make them understand, or for them to have what it takes to also
Mhm.
apply to the internships or to the companies that you tried applying
Mhm.
with? Especially na-mention mo about internship. Like, can you take us to the process of how you applied for the internship? Like, nagkaroon ka ba ng help from your parents,
Mhm.
or what type of connections you had? Or
Mhm.
was it because you were already studying in UST na
Mhm.
naging plus factor yun para makuha mo yung internship? Or is there a way for like ordinary
Mm.
people na not necessarily coming from prestigious universities,
Mhm.
like your thoughts if they could also land internships in companies, or like also get to where you are right now?
Mhm.
What do you think? Can you like show us like a broader picture of that for
Mhm.
those who are adulting,
Mhm.
who would probably be interested in going that same field?
Sure, sige. So dun muna ako sa first question na how will you understand economics as a non-econ major? Siguro one simplistic meaning of economics is the study of how you allocate resources
Mm.
to to accommodate unlimited wants and needs of the human race. Parang ganon.
But a lot of Filipinos are not good with that. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So basically economics is both science and
Mm.
philosophy for
Mm.
me. Kasi science siya in a way na there's a specific models that you make, and then you need to follow. Like for example, one example of principle ng economics is people always respond to incentives. So if you browse the market right now, di ba, daming mga companies na nag-offer ng mga incentives like promos and stuff.
Mm.
So and then eventually it will create demand. Or
Mm.
parang ganun. So it will help your business a lot. So that's just the science of it. That's also just one example. Um, Another side naman ng economics is yun nga philosophy. Yes, yun nga. Sometimes economics is not just about gaining
Profit.
monetary value. but it's also about gaining, what's your position and what can you contribute to make our lives better.
Mm.
And you can also see that in our history, no? So if you go back to history na parang 6,000 years ago, we were only just, ano ba?
Caveman.
Yeah, yeah, we were just caveman. We don't know how to cook, but now, through the development of time, economics has also been, catching up. So yeah, many. It's a very fun, major to, to be passionate about then. And then, yeah, so that's for economics. How did I apply economics for my experiences like internships with Deloitte and PwC and also to Unilever later on? Siguro siguro i-sequence ko na lang. So, I joined Deloitte first. That was my first internship, and that was during the pandemic time.
Mm.
So, yun. So basically kinapitalize ko yung online class setup ng university. So since online class yung setup, mas maraming time na mag-browse ng other opportunities outside of the school. So yun, so I decided not to take internships, and one of the companies na ina-eye ko that time is yun nga makaland ng internship sa one of the big four, which is Deloitte, PwC, KPMG or EY. So yeah, I applied to the four firms, and then I landed internship to Deloitte.
Hindi mo naman na-overthink yung pag-apply mo.
Well, syempre there's that pressure, no, na
Mm.
parang for that time, for me, that was my golden ticket to open doors for me to a lot of opportunities. Kasi once you have that big four name on your resume, it could be easier for us.
Game changer talaga siya.
Yeah, game changer. So yeah, during my application process, I think I had marami ring mga students na had the same mindset na online class, more free time, and then more internships. So yun, so the competition was tight. I think nung nakipagkwentuhan ako sa recruiting personnel that time, nung after ko ma-hire as an intern, parang around 300 students kami nag-apply. Then only 6 lang kami natanggap.
Oh, wow. Competition stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so sabi ko, oh, sabi ko.
Golden ticket indeed.
Sabi ko parang lakas ng tsampa ko that time.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, pero just to describe the hiring process, it was tedious, and it was very demanding both mentally and physically then. I think that there were 3 rounds of interview, and also one case study that we need to do. So thankfully, nakapasa, and then I was one of the 6 interns na nakatanggap. Yeah, and then ayun, for me ang lesson learned ko dun is it's not just about the school, kasi yung 300 applicants na yun is half of it is from the big four schools, and half of it is from the non-other schools. And then out of the 6, tatlo lang kami nasa big four, and then the other 3 is from other non-target schools. So siguro I would like to say to the viewers na schools doesn't also matter.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, it's more on the personality that you bring to the interviewer, and also the skills that you will bring sa internship program.
Side question. Within those like 6 interns, all are economics major?
No. So we are mixed. So I was the only econ member there, and then 2 are accountancy majors. Tapos I think there's one IT major, and then the other 2 I forgot na.
I'm so curious to know, no? Kasi yun nga, econ ka, there were 2 accountancy and then 1 IT. So what type of internship were you really applying in this company? Like ano yung description ng internship na?
So during my application, I was applying originally to audit. Pero
Okay,
I think audit internship already closed, so I was rerouted to transfer pricing. So fun fact lang ng transfer pricing, it's a really new industry sa Philippines. Transfer pricing is like it's like a process wherein related parties are buying and selling from each other, and then they make profit out of it. So, and then kumbaga parang kasi ano ba? And then sometimes kasi companies can abuse that, no? Just to avoid paying taxes.
Ooh,
So yeah,
interesting.
so since medyo emerging na siya industry here sa Philippines, that's why nagkaroon din ng demand for transfer pricing and people.
The way I hear it, parang ano siya, parang low game or low ball game for ghost projects. Anyway, sorry, side comment. Pero okay, moving on.
Yeah. Yun. So anyway, since it's a new industry,
Uh,
so a lot of bright minds are open to apply.
mm,
It's not only for accounting majors, it's also it's open to all players. Kasi it's a new field for Philippines.
interesting.
So yun. When I landed the internship, it was a 4-month internship, and then and then we were assigned to various teams. So yeah. And then we were exposed to multinational clients, since mostly gumagawa ng transfer prices yung mga big corporations din. So I was exposed to that. I will not disclose the client's name kasi confidential. Pero it was a very steep learning curve.
Mm,
Lalo na you get to expose with talking with managers, with executive positions persons then.
so high pressure siya.
Yeah, high pressure, long hours. Pero it's fun kasi you get to practice what you learn in college, no? Especially economics, and then specialization in finance. And then parang kumbaga yung natututunan mo sa loob ng classroom, na-apply mo sa real life. Yan yung nakakatawa. Yun. Tapos about the work culture doon, I would say na parang siyang extension ng college. Kasi parang even yung mga workforce doon same age group mo din eh. So kumbaga parang lang din, magkakakilala lang din kayo.
Mga tropa-tropa lang.
Tropa lang. Yeah.
I see.
Yun. Yun, tapos
Interesting.
after my internship ended, yun nga, it opened to a lot of opportunities na. So, went to PwC, then yun nga, luckily, landed a job at Unilever.
Nice. So for those who are interested, diba? Shoot your shot. Pero also like take us through the process of how you search for these internships, kasi I think in this generation also, although there are also young people na who knows or would take risk, diba? So how about what would be your advice to those who are slightly risk averse and don't know if they should shoot their shot, or how can they find these types of opportunities for themselves if they dream of taking internships in these types of companies or landing jobs in these types of companies?
Sure, sige. Siguro one easy way to search for this type of opportunities yun nga, is to network. I mean, luckily for me,
UST.
medyo big yung population ng UST. So I met lots of people. And then how I met those people is through organizations. So when I was first year, I joined Economic Society. So we have our own organization for economic students sa university. And then not just only at UST but also to other schools din na may partner yung school. So yun, I met some amazing persons wherein they share their dreams, their goals. And then you can learn a lot from them, and then you can also tailor it to your own, just from getting their insights. And then yun, so after talking to so many aspiring econ in the near future, I parang pabuild na ako ng sarili kong framework on how I want to become as a professional in the future. So yun, and then through them I've also known na ito pala yung mga companies na na magma-maximize ng aking potential. So doon ko na found out na si Big Four pala, ganito yung training doon.
Mm.
Si ganitong company, ganun yung training. So ayun. So that's how I've come to know to those firms. And then yun nga, and then as early as college time, nag-create din ako ng LinkedIn account. So
Yes. In this time and age,
yeah, LinkedIn.
very important.
So yeah, so I created LinkedIn account even though na wala pa akong malalagay as badge doon. What badge is yung mga experiences and stuff. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, LinkedIn is like the Facebook for professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you like posting memes on Facebook, LinkedIn is not the place for it probably. Pero yeah, LinkedIn.
Yes.
I see the potential in LinkedIn also.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair play.
Yeah.
And
Yan. So after I created LinkedIn, ang first strategy ko is to reach out to recruiters. So some people kasi they find LinkedIn as job windows. But for me, diretso ako sa HR. So diretso ako sa recruiter kaagad na, hey, are you hiring around this time? Ganun.
wow.
Yeah, tapos build meaningful relationship with them na syempre. Who knows, 'di ba? What if nagustuhan niya na pala ako that time, and then he or she can consider me to any role if may mag-open up.
Smart play. So ganun guys, LinkedIn also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook for professionals. If you really want to like play big balls with the big guys, ganyan. Okay. Fair play.
Yun,
Interesting.
so yun, that's one strategy that I can suggest. Another thing would be yun nga, shoot your shot lang din. Aside from the Big Four, marami pa rin mga companies na nag-offer ng same level of training. Like, andyan naman yung mga investment banking group like Citibank, JP Morgan and stuff. Also, sa consulting industry, there's McKinsey, Bain and BCG. But syempre, yun yung sa business majors na katulad ko. But for for engineering, there's also Meralco, NGCP, also for other majors na, basta ang the bottom line is just find people and just research, continuous research then, and become expert in your own expertise.
All right. So that's a strategy there. Now, since you did mention you were building connections, and you also mentioned earlier you had some extracurricular activities. As a young upcoming how to say professional, or while you were in your teenage years, syempre in university, hindi maiiwasan yung when you make connections, especially in this time and age, there's this thing with probably drinking, smoking, that's the things that young people would tend to do. So like I know you don't necessarily have vices. Yeah, but like for example, kasi di maiwasan yun, di ba? You're trying to build connections with these people. So as a person that do not have vices, how do you navigate interacting with people who, of course, not everyone in every workplace has vices also, but what if you encounter this type of people? How do you manage that?
During talking stage, syempre nakakwento ko rin na very religious din akong tao. I don't do those things na parang drinking, smoking, na yun nga, especially na yun din yung tinuturo ng church sa atin na don't be addicted to these kinds of things or else
Will destroy you. At
yeah,
least that's what they say.
that's what they say. Yeah, pero and also may other reasons din ako. Parang hindi rin ako tolerant sa mga ganong in terms of health. So they completely understood. Pero that doesn't mean na syempre hindi pa rin that doesn't mean na hindi na ako sasama sa mga social groups or social gatherings, diba? Syempre, andun yung andun yung opportunity, kilala sila eh. So yun, even though I'm not participating in those kinds of activities, I'm still present or at ano pa rin, nasa attendance pa rin ako ng those events.
So basically, just show up but
Yeah.
don't show off.
Yeah.
Parang ganun, something like
Show
that.
up, gano'n.
Oo.
Yun, and then kasi doon mo ano, doon kayo makapag heart to heart talk, doon kayo makapag talkies na friend na tone conversations. And then yun, malalaman mo rin yung background nila, how did they arrive here, and then what is their family background. And then yun, marami kang matututunan sa kanila. And then yun. So to answer your question, yun nga, as early as before muna nila tanong sa akin, talaga sinabi ko na sa kanila na
Like on the talking stage pa lang, you're already mentioning, I don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like more people are, well, some of them would probably be confused, but I guess some more people are understanding of that. Even for me, I'm surprised, diba? That even before I entered like the workforce, from the get-go, I also already mentioned I don't smoke, I don't drink. So in this time and age, people would tend to respect that also because it's your life. Ano bang pake nila, diba?
Yeah,
Why would
correct.
they intervene? It's your choice din naman. So
I agree.
yeah, so I guess for the young ones who are probably afraid to be like maybe trying to
Sociable.
fit in with society, diba? Na probably the stereotype is like people outside of your network or your community would have a bad influence on you. Sometimes if you already introduce yourself and state your stance, they would be the ones to protect you. Probably kasi even for me, napunta sa akin bigla, no? Like ever since I said from the get-go that I don't drink, even some of my workmates are already the ones like protecting me. Ay, hindi umiinom yan si Vic. Wala siyang bisyo, ganyan. So yeah, I guess like setting your foot on the ground and like just stating those things, making it very clear you don't do that stuff is important also. So I guess don't be too afraid to state that, diba?
Saka din, you can also suggest other activities. During college, hindi rin naman ako marunong mag-billiards, pero they introduced billiards to me. Yun nga. Just find common ground. Yun lang.
Learning a different hobby.
Yeah, different hobby.
Yung iba, yung nagiging may mga iba naging plantita. May mga umaakyat ng bundok. Ganyan. All right. I mentioned earlier na your family is quite faithful and has certain values. So since your parents, normally a lot of parents would really pass down those values towards you, and like it would also, it molds you to become the person that you are as you become older, diba? So how do you apply those values that you've learned from your parents into your workplace as well, or how do you apply it in your work as well?
Sure. Siguro one value or practice that I learned from my parents is yung always pray. So even if it's a workplace, syempre if may mga high pressure situation or may mga deal breaking basta mga deal na very groundbreaking, syempre I always pray na sana maging successful, sana mag-push through, ganyan. And then sometimes it works kasi it helps you calm your nerves, it helps you to have peace of mind, and then once you have that calmness, you can
Execute properly.
you can execute properly, you can think of other creative ways. So yun, so one of the practices ko yun is to pray. Another thing would be yung na-build up na traditions ng church. So a lot of the times traditions ng church is to read those scriptures, read, to practice diligence, and also to practice yung very yung work ethic ba. So ayun, so in terms of those, na-apply ko rin siya sa work, lalo na especially yung traditions, keeping up traditions. So sa workplace, na-apply ko siya, yun nga, nag-build ako ng mga hobbies na very productive, not just for the work but also for me sa work-life balance.
And so na-mention niyo work-life balance. So I will just medyo intrusive question to his personal life.
Oh no,
Kasi
oh
like
no.
I mentioned, he's a good friend of mine. And recently, since he mentioned work balance, he went to Boracay. It was probably
Ah,
work related, diba?
uh-huh.
And then, well, you also had the opportunity to go to Japan. And then, like just last week, he just came back from Korea. So, so I guess for your case, totoong work-life balance kasi you were able to work, like you landed the job,
Mhm, mhm,
and then recently you got to travel. So I guess parang ako na nag-summarize no, like it is possible to have work-life
mhm,
balance.
mhm.
Pero like for you, how maybe you could share more. How do you balance it out, and how do you decide na okay, I would go on a trip with my
Mhm,
workmates or with my friends?
mhm, mhm.
Siguro you could also include like a little bit of budgeting. How does the budgeting work in terms of trying to yun nga work-life balance para
Mhm,
hindi ka totally ma-burn out with just doing your work. Considering
mhm,
din, 'di ba? Ako na magsasabi, it was your first internship and your job at Unilever is your first job ever.
mhm, mhm,
So syempre a lot of people, since it's our first job, we want to like give all out. Pero the tendency is some people would tend to burn out, 'di ba?
mhm,
If they
mhm.
just go all out. So how do you balance that?
Okay, sige. So, little bit background of my work description muna. So, just to
Mm.
give context. So, yun nga, my job in Unilever yun nga is to become a budget owner of a specific line item, no?
Mm.
Specifically on supply chain. And then na-assign ako sa multiple line items like logistics and supply chain indirects. So yeah, so basically I take care of those budgets. So basically budget owner ako, performance management.
Have the money but not really your money.
Yeah. So sometimes yun nga, so my routinary work is forecasting the numbers for the year to go, for the next year, budgeting talaga. And then what is your latest view, what is your latest actuals, and then saan tayo nag-over budget, saan tayo nag-under budget, how can we mitigate those over budgets, and then how can we reallocate those so kung saan tayo nag-under budget, di ba?
Mm.
Para syempre efficient yung pag yung paggastos ng company. So yun nga, that's my work sa company. Um, so a lot of decision makings and also may mga operational tasks. So yun. So the first strategy that I did when I was a new hire sa Unilever, especially so of course definitely I had to work long hours kasi if you're playing online games, syempre you have zero foundation, di ba?
Mm.
So you need to build that foundation first. So you need to be familiarized with the process. You need to be familiarized with the work culture. Yung siyempre a lot of times makipag-partner ka sa ibang functions. So kailangan mo rin i-build yung partnering side mo. And also, yun nga, and also at the same time, build your foundations, your hard skills sa And then it will help you in the long run kasi once you build those foundations, you can easily identify which processes can be can be automated.
Mm.
That will help you in the future na to have less work, di ba? So yun, during my first few months sa company, talagang dinedicate ko yung working hours ko to dun. And then yun na as time goes by nagbunga naman siya to good results, no. So may mga automated na akong processes na hindi ko na kailangan mag-work ng 3 to 4 hours on that one task lang. Pero ngayon 30 minutes na-generate ko na siya.
Mm.
So I can easily report to my managers to present my recommendations for the betterment of the business ng company. And then yun, it gave me more time to tackle my personal hobbies, my personal agendas. Yun. So that's doon ko nasisingit yung travel,
Mm.
doon ko nasisingit yung gym, yung yeah.
Quick question regarding the automation. Was it like self-generated? Like you came up with the idea, or you had the help of
Mhm.
someone in your group or your manager to help automate those type of stuff? Kasi, yun nga,
Mhm.
I guess me as a person, if it's my first job, or we tend to take so much responsibility na once we hit a roadblock, we do not ask help from other people. Kasi
Mhm.
parang trabaho ko to eh. Dapat masasolve ko tong problema na to eh.
Yeah.
Parang for you, when you were trying to find ways to shorten the workload,
Mhm.
were you taking all the responsibility on your own, or were you seeking guidance from a manager or from I don't know, maybe praying na bigla na ano, bigla nang may darating na automated something kasi during this time wala pang AI, so to speak, 'di ba? Like you had to figure things out on your own. So paano mo nagawa 'yun?
Well, marami akong tinap na resources, not just materials but also a lot of experts sa company. So luckily, Unilever is a big company, so maraming experts around the office. So syempre, for the managers, I ask guidance lang. Syempre, di naman din sila familiar sa specific operational tasks. So ask for guidance. So ano ba yung goal? Ano ba yung gusto nating i-solve here? Ano ba yung gusto nating makitang results? And then from that point, doon ako mag-conceptualize paano ko siya i-automate. And then once I've done the architecture of what I want to create, I ask certain types of person na very expert sa field na ganito. So nag-ask ako, hey, if I did this, mag-work ba siya or hindi? So what's your opinion? Ganun. And then from those insights, doon ko nabibuild yung doon ko unti-unti nabibuild yung automation na gusto kong mangyari. So one example is during my when I was a new hire, walang standard ng dashboard ba kumbaga sa line items na hinahawakan ko. So parang that time they were only doing variance analysis. So just comparing the forecast versus the actuals and then what is the variance. And then typically during presentation, ina-explain lang yung variance. So, yun nga.
Sorry guys, this is a little bit technical pero I hope some people are understanding somehow, no?
Yeah. Pero yun nga, parang I mean, for me, is that it? Parang wala nang kasunod na recommendations, wala nang kasunod na insights na makaka-help na
it's like improving the process, no?
So, yun. So, gusto kong sabi ko sana sa mga future presentations ko, I can deliver those kinds of results na yun nga maka-help sa business. And also yun nga earn the manager's trust, earn the executive's trust na even if yun nga mag-leave ako sa company or mag-vacation leave ganun. Still they have that trust na he can do the work, then pwede I can say na pwede naman siya magpahinga or vacation anytime. Ganun. So yun nga, earning the trust. Tapos ayun, so but going back sa process, no. Yun nga. Yun, so what I did is yun nga, created that dashboard na very very insightful, na parang hindi lang nag-stop dun sa variance analysis. There's also the trend analysis. There's also CPT analysis. Sorry, CPT means cost per ton.
So basically, in this automated process, parang you extract the data, you just put in the data and it will show you the results.
Yeah.
That's automation, guys. Basically, yun yung layman's terms na, diba? But you need to create the process so that the data will just show the data that is necessary, diba?
Correct. Yun. So that's just one example na very na-highlight sa akin during nag-work ako sa Unilever. Ayun, tapos yun nga, I earned my manager's trust. Tapos yun nga, it gave me a lot more free time in the long run na yun nga, to pursue my passion, my hobbies on the side. Yeah.
So it's possible, guys.
Yeah.
Ayun. So I guess yun nga, you were able to solve problems, automate solutions. So hindi pa natin nasa scratch ulit yung traveling. So
okay,
back there.
So sa traveling, sa budgeting naman. Okay, so yun nga, well, in terms of budgeting, syempre, tayo naman mga empleyado, payslip to payslip lang naman. So syempre, ang thinking ko dun is limited lang yung source of income natin. So doon lang nakadepende. So ang ginagawa ko is, alam mo yung 50-30-20 rule?
I think I've heard of it or
yeah, okay.
heard it somewhere.
So just to have an overview. So
for those who are adulting, listen.
Sure. Sige. So 50-30 rule is 50-30-20 rule. So parang it's like 50% is going to your needs or requirements like paying bills, paying paying the rent and stuff. 30% is going to your savings, and then 20% is for your wants and needs naman. So naging consistent ako sa ganung framework sa pagba-budgeting. And then hanggang sa nakaipon, 'yun, nakapag-travel, nakapag-gym, may pambayad ng gym membership, 'yun. So 'yun, I think very for me very very useful naman yung ganong framework, but I think it also depends sa situation ng each person.
Mm.
So sometimes kasi may ibang priorities yung ibang tao, di ba? So for example, if parang ang priority nila is yun nga, to help the family. Siyempre, most of their salary or wages na-allocate sa family.
Mm.
Pero ayun, siguro ang ma-advise ko lang is generally is yun nga, always plan your budget beforehand, and also live below your means. Kasi sometimes kuwari ako may credit card. Siyempre sometimes there's this temptation na you use your credit card kasi, "Oh, 1 month pa naman ng deadline," gano'n. So, kaya kong bayaran 'yan, gano'n. Pero I always have this mindset na always live below your means. Kasi in the long run, it will help you be financially free kasi wala kang debt na naghihila sa'yo pababa. 'Yun.
So guys, it's possible to have work-life balance. Yan, you just need to properly budget. And yun nga, these are like skills also that a lot of Filipinos really do not have, or basically it's also not taught in school, di ba? Yung matuto kang mag-budget. Pero as life goes by, probably because, there are certain things that happens in life that you really need to also learn these things. So, ayun. So, I guess, guys, it's possible, no, na you could land a dream job that you want. And also, as you are living or working your dream job, you could also live a good life. Ayun siya. He shared na he was able to go to a good university, internships with top companies, even landing a job with one of the top companies around the world. So, probably, what is the long-term goal? Probably become CEO of Unilever. I don't know, maybe. Baka naman, you never know, di ba?
Medyo
Because
napatayo.
with the connections, you never know. Pero,
Medyo napatayo ako dun.
what is the long-term goal here?
Well, sige, for the long-term goal, I know it's very big for now, pero in the long run, I want to become an impactful leader where I can, where I can inspire more people to pursue their expertise, to pursue their passion. And yun nga, I also want to become the person to be an inspiration to others na not all problems in this world can be solved if you just dedicate, parang ganun. So yun nga, so to achieve those long-term goals, so attending a good university, attending my first job at a prestigious company is a really huge factor, I would say, but it's not the whole picture pa rin. Of course, definitely, yeah, there are so many things to explore pa. There are so many areas that I can tap into. But yun nga, what I can say lang is just keep doing the work right now, and then always have that values and faith na natutunan mo sa church and also from your family, and then yun nga, hopefully someday I will become the person who I want to be. And of course, not just hindi lang pagiging workaholic, no, also take care of your health din na. Yun nga, na-mention ko, nag-gym ako. So I want to be I want to be a charismatic leader din na pag nakita ko, okay, so I want to be like that kind of person. Parang ganun.
Like,
so ikaw ba, Kuya Vic?
the money is thick and the muscles are thick. Then
ikaw ba? Medyo curious din ako eh. Na
long-term goals?
Yeah.
Siguro unlike you, I really do not have long-term goals for now. I guess it might sound selfish right now, but I'm really thinking of myself. Wow, I have a wife and daughter now. Pero I'm like trying to find opportunities to improve myself for
Mhm.
now. So with work, let's say for work, I'm enjoying work,
Mhm.
and so far wala pa namang long-term goals in terms of work.
Mhm.
Learning new skills at work also, it's also very
Mm.
helpful for me.
Mm.
Even before I was doing my current work now,
Mm.
yung the things that I learned, like help like within the community, was
Mm.
also applicable to there. So siguro similar to you, since this is my first work outside of the community work that I'm doing, I'm figuring things out as I
Mm.
go. Like 24 ka, no?
Yeah,
24, I'm
24.
like 32. So there's
Oo.
like big age discrepancy there.
Mhm.
Na siguro for me, at my age now, I wish
Hmm.
I had those opportunities that you have, na I should have made proper connections when I was younger.
Mhm. Mm.
Siguro if I had, uh, probably if I had a better goal when I
Mm.
was younger, and I could have probably landed better job.
Mm.
Because growing up, I was afraid na I would be eaten by the system. Na
Mm.
yun nga, there's the smoking, the drinking, and whatsoever
Mm.
that I've also mentioned in the previous podcast. Pero I guess yun nga, like you mentioned also, if your values are strong,
Mm.
diba, and then you have a proper upbringing, I guess there's really nothing much to fear.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Correct.
need to pray,
Correct. Correct.
and eventually, like in some weird way, like somehow the path is just laid in front of you. You just need to somehow walk it. So
Mm.
and sa dami ng sinabi ko, I really don't have
Mm.
a clear long-term plan,
Mm.
but um siguro as a corporate slave, I want to also broaden my opportunities, and hopefully nagagawa ko naman somehow yung work-life balance, pero there's this feeling na it's not enough.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
there's something that you want more, probably out of work, out of your personal life and what.
Mm. Mm.
So nothing in the long term. Hopefully this podcast could go long term with more people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yan.
Yeah.
So yeah, so yun, wala namang long term for me. Maybe you
Mm.
have other recommendations for people to
Ah.
the podcast who are probably watching. Hi guys. So anyone maybe that comes to mind
Um,
that you know of, that has like some insights to share, like similar to yours.
hmm,
Baka nakikinig sila.
sure. Siguro always be proactive.
Mm,
Parang if you already know what you want to do, always be proactive for it. Look for opportunities, even if it means moving to a different city,
mm,
moving to a different environment. Basta just believe in yourself. Kasi once you stop believing in yourself, parang mag-fade away na yung ano mo
mm,
mag-fade away na yung drive mo to pursue that dream. And then magche-change ka na naman ng other dream or goals. And then that's very sayang yung time and effort. So parang if you're truly passionate about something, um, be proactive na. Reach out to an expert or reach out to and then if possible, offer them to become your apprentice or ask them to become your mentor. Kasi having a mentor also really helps.
mm,
Especially yun nga, building connections, sila rin yung magre-refer sa'yo
mm,
to a certain area. And also, you will also gain valuable insight and skills from them din. Lalo na sa mga yun nga, sa network, pakikipag-usap, and then also you also build that confidence na kaya ko makipag-usap sa ganitong type of people, type of level. Yun, so yun nga, it will also open a lot of doors if you find a mentor then. And then yun, aside from being proactive, um, ano din, if meron ka ng if may na-build ka ng mga certain skills, put it to practice na. Kasi if you just learn, then if you don't apply, parang sayang,
sayang.
'di ba? So yun, one advice, after you learn so much, you start creating your profile na, 'di ba? So, okay, I did this. Kahit don't worry about monetary gain for now kasi you're still building your foundations pa eh.
Mm,
So, yun, one example, yun nga, when I was in university, While my other friends are partying, may ditching classes, ako I built na my foundation. So, yun. Pero na kudos naman to some of my friends na even though they yun nga, chill lang nung
Party
college,
hard sila.
pero pa din,
Oo.
pa rin, ganun pa din yung nila, sobrang successful din nila. Yun,
They
so
probably made connections in those parties. So,
who
anyways,
knows?
you never know.
Yun, so I think yun lang yung number one recommendation sa viewers if you're early on your career or you're starting just university. So, yun. I think for the elder viewers, parang ako nga pa dapat yung matuto sa inyo.
Mm.
Pero yun, hope hope we can connect someday. Yeah.
Yan. So, so we've learned a lot from, despite the young age of 24, you can give this type of advice, no? So, if people would need your advice
Mhm.
personally, where could they find you? Susugod ba silang Unilever or
Andiyan lang naman ang messenger ko. So please don't hesitate to add me on Facebook, Instagram, yeah, and then just cold chat me. Hindi ko naman kayo i-ignore.
kung gusto niyo ng
Yeah.
workout advice, or maybe
Yeah.
you never know. So ayun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that wraps up our segment for this
Sure.
podcast, and hopefully more episodes to come. Maybe one day si Subi na yung umuupo dito. I mean si Joseph. Maybe one day si Joseph na yung umuupo sa host and maybe interviewing someone from Unilever. I don't know. Manifesting. Anyways. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what's your takeaway from this. And thank you, Joseph, for joining us.
Sure.
And all the best with your long-term goals. Yes.
Likewise.
Yeah. So thank you, guys. We'll see you probably in the next episode after 7 months. Bye.
Bye.